Hello, St. Amelia artists. Get ready to do a robot collagraph with me. So here comes a list of materials and then we'll get right into it. Alrighty then, let's get started. So as far as materials, here's what you're gonna need. You are going to need a tissue box or anything that could be considered like a thicker cardboard. You could even use an old notebook, like the back of it. This is a really nice cardboard. You just want something a little bit thicker. So tissue box, back of a notebook, those kinds of things are fine. The next thing you're gonna need is a pair of scissors. And you'll need some paper. I'm gonna use a pen, but you can use a pencil, you could use a crayon, anything that you can just draw your shapes, and we're gonna cut them out. All right, so I want to make a robot collagraph. So for this, I would recommend that you maybe sketch some shapes out, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be sort of collaging these shapes together to then create our robot shape. So here's some examples of shapes that you can do. You can do a sort of rounded head if you like. You could do a square head, and then a teardrop body if you like. Or you could do some rectangular arms. Once you have these shapes kind of all put together, I want you to come up with details. So you're going to, let's say, I'm gonna start out with my half circle robot head. I'm gonna give him a neck. He needs a body. We'll give him a square body. And maybe some curved arms. Then I want to give him some legs. Maybe I'll do a square for his thighs, a little square for his knees, and some rectangles for his bottom part of his legs. We can even give him some shoes. Okay, so I've got the basic shape of my robot's body. Now I want to give my robot some details. So we can even add eyeballs. We can add a smiling mouth. Okay, so this is my basic robot shape. And if you notice, I turned every part of my robot, that means his head, his neck, his body, his arm. These are all separate shapes. All right, so our very next step is we are going to copy our drawing that we just sketched out onto our Kleenex box or on the back of our notebook, like we were talking about earlier. So I'm gonna start drawing my robot all over again. But this time I'm only going to be doing the body shapes. You want to make sure that you're drawing nice and big so that we can actually cut these shapes out. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my shapes out. So one thing I did fail to mention is that you will need another piece of cardboard or something that you can glue these shapes down to. So I had another Kleenex box that I just cut apart, and I knew the robot would fit on it because they are the same exact size. So I want you to glue around the edges of your shape and then fill it in. Okay, so while we let our robot's body dry, we can now draw our details. So this is the fun part. This is the super fun part. What you can do now is we are going to make a rubbing. A rubbing involves a crayon, a texture, and a piece of paper. So we have our texture right here. We're going to make our robot magically appear. You're gonna put your piece of paper over top of your robot, and with the side of your crayon, you're going to go gently back and forth over top of your robot. So just remember, it's super important to hold your paper down really, really tight on top of your robot, just so it doesn't move around. And just like that, you have your robot Collagraph.